Good evening. This is the video newsletter for Buy Sell Short for Thursday, November 3rd. Don't you just love this market? What an awesome market is all I got to say. This European nonsense that's been going on, especially over the last month, if you have changed to the bull side like we told everyone to do about 5 weeks ago, you are just banking off these moves on the market whenever it's related to the Dow. 208 point rally today, which we nailed, by the way, at the bottom. But if we look at the daily chart here, the sell-off that started on Monday was essentially driven by MF, and then Tuesday, we had, of course, that Greek dumbass come out and say that he was going to hold a referendum, and the market plunged. And as has been the case since the lows a month ago, every time we have a big sell-off with regards to European news, the next day we see a big up move, because the next day the news flow is totally opposite. And we saw that yet again today and yesterday. News that the Greek referendum was probably going to get negated. Today that became official, and off to the races we went. Looking at the daily chart, the Sunday video, we mentioned our support levels to look for. We pulled all the way back to the 20-day moving average, exponential moving average on that retrace, and have solidly bounced off it. Again, if you were to learn anything from all the videos you watch from me, it is the only moving average you really need to know, if you only use one, is the 20-day exponential moving average, 20-day EMA. Love it. When stocks or indices get too far above it or too far below it, they always snap back. It's almost a lock. If there was anything that was a guarantee, it would be that simple trading strategy. Nice bounce off the 20-day exponential. We closed above the 200-day, above the 12K mark, and shorts, those idiots who got sucked in over the last couple of days on the downside are probably going, what the hell? Here we go again. Dow daily chart looks really, really good. And one thing I love seeing on indices and on charts is when we see stochastics come down from an 80 level, hold the 50 level, and bounce. And that is exactly what we're seeing on the Dow daily chart. If we flip over to the 15-minute chart, pretty busy here, but I wanted to leave up where we threw up this Fibonacci retracement chart on Tuesday, and you can see we held above it and have bounced solidly off it. Now we've redrawn the line of support, so right now we're looking at support around 11,700, but just a great little chart, a nice bounce over the last 2 days. And again, the moving averages, if we go back to the daily chart, all the moving averages are curling higher. We are in the midst of a bull market move. Unless Europe sinks into the sea going into year end, or those idiots in DC mess up this debt negotiation like they did back here when we had the teabagger sell-off in August, where all systems go for new highs going into year end, in my opinion. SMH, again, right back down to the 20-day exponential and a solid bounce off it. Breakout on the SMH is 3270. And here's a 1-year view of that. You can see this nice W formation we've got in place, a very bullish formation that when we started going long back in early October, I mentioned that I love W formations. It's one of my favorite setups when you're drawing little pictures on the charts or making little notes on the chart. A break of that 3270 level, and we will be looking to challenge that 35 level going into December, in my opinion. Quick mention on the Russell 2K. Again, I want to beat home the fact that here we are not too far away from the highs in a lot of the major indices, and we've got 50% of small cap stocks trading at massive discounts to the highs they saw earlier in the year. We still have some significant upside in the Russell. I mean, the 200-day moving average is still 5% higher. A break through this level, and you'll really start to see a lot of these beaten down small cap stocks go on tremendous runs. And what we're starting to see, especially over the last couple of days, any stock trading under $1, small cap stock, with any hint of positive news is going gangbusters. And I mean, we're talking shitty, bankrupt, no cash, high debt, garbage stocks. If there is even a hint of news, the momentum traders are rushing in. Great sign. We have not seen that in a long time. And again, it's one of those things when you look for signs in the market to be long and to be buying dips, those are them. We've been trading, we've buy, sell, short, 10-year anniversary right now we're coming up on. We've been through all these markets before. They all trade off the same game plan. And the game plan I'm seeing that we're going to be playing going into year end and early next year looks very, very bullish for the small cap stocks. Anyway, let's jump into some stock plays. Monster winners today. Holy crap, some of the movers we've had. I can't even go into it. The video would be 20 minutes long, 30 minutes long. DEXO. This was our play a few days ago as a mover into earnings, or not into earnings, into the Groupon IPO at 65 cents. It hit $1.50 today, 100+% mover. Now, we do have a standing rule. We do not hold plays into earnings. I know some of you guys did, but my personal rule is unless the market really gets into a mania like, we saw in January and February, I don't hold plays into earnings unless I'm sure what the earnings report is. These guys come out, they blew the door off. Surprise, big, profitable quarter for these guys. We jumped back into it in the chat room, 87, 88 cents, ended up running, 60% for us. And then we got 2 or 3 10% scalps in the chat room intraday. I mean, we've essentially pulled, if you played this one right, 150% gain out of this stock over the last week. Just monster gains. Chart plays like this, doing very, very well. I've been hammering the table over the last 3 or 4 weeks saying charts that look like this are going to go back up. We did the exact same thing when we played the January poppers this time last year going into February. These are the kind of setups that saw huge bounce backs. Look what AOB did since we called it 2 weeks ago. We called this at a breakout at 61 cents. A week and a half ago? It hit $1.04 yesterday for a 60% mover over 2 weeks. I mean, these are the kind of plays that are going to make you a lot of profits if you're patient going into year end. Now, DEXO had a couple of things going for it. Its earnings report today, also a play on Groupon. LOCM, this is the one we mentioned a week ago down at the 260, 250 area for a move into Groupon. Nice little breakout on this one today. Groupon IPO goes off tomorrow. This one should see a nice chase move tomorrow. 340, 375 plus are our targets on this one. You can trade your stops now to $3 on it. Should be a monster winner going into that Groupon IPO tomorrow. Now the other play, LEE, Lee Enterprises. They're a newspaper publisher. They've got a bunch of newspapers across the country, but they do daily deals, like Groupon deals. If you go and click on their website and click out their newspapers, you'll see it on the right-hand side, daily deals. This is a sleeper Groupon sympathy play tomorrow. Nice flag setup. RSI up through 50. We had a positive MACD cross 2 days over the last 2 days. Similar to what we saw, it likes to run on those positive MACD crosses. ADX is just going gangbusters to the upside, and Stochastics a nice break up over 20. This one should rock and roll over the next couple of days, and I would not be surprised if we get momentum into this one tomorrow to see it make a push on the 90s or possibly even $1, just like DEXO. Nice chart potential and a laggard Groupon sympathy play. New trading alert today, ACPW, Active Power. Like the setup here. Again, 20-day exponential. Check this chart out. This stock loves its 20-day. It goes above it, it comes back, it goes below it, it bounces back. Here we are, it was at one stage 20% below its 20-day. We're still sitting 10% below. 50-day is right up here at $1.30. We've got 10 to 20% upside on this one. Minimal downside. We're about to get a positive MACD cross. Check out Stochastics. In the basement, coiling up. The last time we saw that coilage on it, we saw a move from 115 to 148. 30% move on this exact same chart setup back what, 3 weeks ago? Time for round 2 here. ZHNE. Check this chart out. Does this chart remind you of a stock we just looked at a few minutes ago? Here's the DXO chart. Zoop, all the way down. Let's check out the zone chart. Zoop, all the way down. Nice earnings report. Nice coilage. Ready to rock and roll. A break of 1 will bring the chasers in. This is a stock that could see 25 to 50% move into year end. And, you know, depending on how crazy the momentum got, the 200-day moving average, not out of the question with some patience. RSI, you know, still under the 50 level. We've got this downtrend line, as you can see, on stochastics. I think this one's going to break and break big over the next few days. On balance volume has started to turn. This is a stock you're going to look back at in a month, maybe in a couple of weeks, and go, why the hell did I not load the boat on this one under $1? And that's what I really think on this one. I think this one is locked and loaded for a very nice move. INUV, another Groupon sympathy play, extremely thin. Nice bottom action on this one today. A rebreak through $1.30 tomorrow. I mean, this stock was at $1.76 2 weeks ago, and we've got Groupon momentum. We're about to get a positive MACD cross, which gave a huge 100% move back in the first week of October. Stochastics also triggering the same way. This one could be a very big mover as well tomorrow. Definitely one to keep an eye on. PEIX. What can I say? Kaboom! This is one we jumped into on the 50-cent break yesterday. Then we gapped some on that 53-cent break. Our target was 65, and I mentioned this is a stock with the news that it had that's probably going to make its way back to $1 over the next few weeks. Stock went up 40% from our call yesterday and just does not look like pulling back. Any pullback on this one to the 55-cent area, I would be looking to pick it up. Hopefully it pulls back so we can load, but this might be one of these stocks where we just see it continue to run and run and run and run. But fat 40% winner, another one just over the course of a day. You know, if you're watching these videos free, you're missing a crap load of profits, is all I got to say. Come check us out. We've got a $5 trial where you can try everything out for 1 week. It'll more than pay for itself. If you tried the free trial 2 days ago, you know, you've paid for a year's worth of service just off DEXO and PEIX. Last but not least, of course, I got to mention CYTR. We still got that douchebag holding the stock back, but the big key date is going to be November 18th when they release that leukemia data. Remember, these guys are giving a poster presentation at a big conference in December. They're going to publish that data November 18th. You don't go to a big conference and have a poster presentation on your data if the data sucks. That's all I'm going to say on this one. Patience play. This is what I'm looking for. 200-day moving average. So, you know, that's it going into tomorrow. We've got some very nice setups. And definitely check out the pop scan. It's been spitting out winners left and right. Any questions, feel free to send me an email. Oh, actually, before I go, OPWV, you know, one of those plays that I said to be patiently waiting on. Deal with Microsoft. Hit 220 in after hours. You know, what can I say? Another monster that we called that if you were patient and sat on it, you made bank going into tomorrow. So that's it. Have a great night, guys. I will see you guys in chat tomorrow. Good night.